Welcome back to Algebra 1. We're going to continue evaluating these algebraic expressions. Now, much like we did for the last section, we're going to say that the variable x in these problems that follow is equal to 2, y is equal to 3, and z is equal to 4. And we want to evaluate the algebraic expressions that follow. So we'll kind of put this off to the side, and we're going to use these facts in all of the questions that follow. This is given to you, the value of these variables. Now, what if you have the expression 8 times parentheses y plus z? And we're told evaluate this algebraic expression. Well, all you do is you stick the value of y right here, you stick the value of z right here, and then after that you just calculate it as we have been doing the whole time. So the 8 on the outside, you can't do anything with him because you always do what's inside the parentheses first. The y is going to be 3 plus the z is going to be 4. And so now you have to, at this point, do what's inside of these parentheses first. So again, the 8 will stay there, multiplied by, and then you will have 3 plus 4 is 7. Okay, and then 8 times 7, because now you can mentally drop these parentheses since you've done what's inside of them. Now you have a multiplication on the outside. 8 times 7 is 56. And that's going to be the final answer there. All right, so let's go off and do the next guy here, the next expression that we have. What if we have 1/2 multiplied by z minus x? Same sort of thing. We just take z and we stick it in here. We take x, we stick it in there, and then we evaluate and see where we end up. So what we have is 1/2 multiplied by, inside here, z is equal to 4, minus x, which is equal to 2. And then we have 1/2 multiplied by, inside these parentheses, we must do them first. 4 minus 2 is 2. And now we can mentally drop the parentheses because we've done what's inside of there. What is 1/2 of 2, or 1/2 times 2 is just going to be the number 1. That is going to be the final answer right there. Okay? So let's switch colors here. And let's go off and do something a little more complicated looking. It's not really hard, it just looks a little more complicated. So let's say we have parentheses y plus x. And on the bottom of this fraction, we will have y minus x. Don't let it fool you. Don't let it scare you. It's not difficult or hard or anything like that. You just do exactly the same thing that you've been doing the whole time and take it one step at a time. So on the top of this fraction, we have a y and we have an x. So we open these parentheses. Y, the value of y is 3. The value of x is 2. We close the parentheses like normal. On the bottom of the fraction, the value of y is 3. The value of x is 2. Whoops. Need to take that away. And so what we will have is 3 minus 2 on the bottom. So what do? We close that parentheses off. Now, we must do what is inside the parentheses first, which means we do what's inside of here, and then separately we do what's inside of here. We have to do that before we deal with the fraction. What comes inside of the parentheses always happens first. So on the top, what we will have is 3 plus 2 is 5. And on the bottom of this fraction, 3 minus 2 is 1, and we'll wrap that in parentheses. Now, since we've done what's inside the parentheses, we can kind of mentally disregard them, and what you have is 5 over 1, which is the same as 5 divided by 1, which is 5. So very simple. Okay, and we'll just do another quick one here. We have, let's say we have the expression 4x, we'll close this guy, minus 8. And that's going to equal to, what are we going to do now? We're going to take the value of x that we know, which is this value of 2, and we're going to stick it right in there. So what we will have is 4 times 2. We write it with a dot now because we don't want to get confused and think we have 42 by just writing them next to each other. So that's 4 times 2. Then we have minus 8. And then over here inside the parentheses, 4 times 2, inside the parentheses, we must do that first. So we have an 8. And then outside the parentheses we have minus 8. But look, in this case, it's interesting. You can drop the parentheses now. 8 minus 8 is just 0. So when you evaluate that algebraic expression, what you get is just simply 0. Now we'll do one more. This will be our last one. What if we have 5 times y times z close the parentheses, minus x. What if that's our algebraic expression? Now notice inside of here we have three things. They're all next to each other, but there's no multiplication symbols. But in algebra, you know this is 5 times y times z, and this must be done first because it's inside of the parentheses. So we open the parentheses first. It'll be 5 times the value of y, which given up here at the top of the page is 3. Then we say 5 times 3, and then we say times the value of z, which is 4. Okay, and that's it. We write the multiplication symbols there because we don't want to be confused and think 534. We want to know that they're multiplied together. And then minus x on the outside, which is 2. So on the inside, we have to do what's inside of here first. We do everything that's inside of here. So 5 times 3 times 4. So 5 times 3 is 15, and 15 times 4, if you think about it, is 60. So on the inside of the parentheses, we'll just have 60 minus 2. And now you can drop the parentheses because you've essentially already dealt with it, and then 60 minus 2 is 58. So that's that algebraic expression. So that's the bottom line. You know, we can keep solving these problems all day, but they're basically the same thing. You take the value of the variable that you have, you stick it in wherever you see the value, and then you have to use your knowledge of algebra, which you're getting here through practicing problems, on how to solve them. The number one thing I'm really trying to get into your head, in addition to the concept of a variable, is you have to do what's inside of these parentheses first. And I'm hoping that by doing all of these problems, you will see that. So follow me on to the next section. We'll continue our journey of algebra, learning every topic step by step.